الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. قال الله عز وجل في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان في من كان قبلكم رجل قتل 99 نفسا كان ملك في من كان قبلكم وكان له ساحر إلى آخر الحديث. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May His choicest salutations and blessings be upon His most beloved, our master and our leader, Sayyiduna Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us, especially for the favor of Iman and Islam. This is indeed a great bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah ta'ala had bestowed upon us. My dear respected elders and brothers in Islam, for a believer, there are two important qualities that we need to bring into our lives. Number one is that of istiqamah, steadfastness. When we say that we are believers and we accept the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we need to be steadfast on that. No matter the time, no matter the situation, no matter the place, we are Muslims and we need to be steadfast on that. And the second quality that we need to adopt in our lives is that of amr bil ma'ruf wa nahi 'anil munkar. Like how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blessed us and bestowed us with the beautiful deen of Islam, we need to call others towards this deen. We need to rectify and make islah of the things around us. Call people towards good and let people or prohibit people from doing wrong, so that the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may flourish and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may thrive. Now there is a very beautiful incident which I am going to narrate to you now, a very lengthy hadith, wherein Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam teaches us the value of istiqamah, of being steadfast, as well as the value of calling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prohibiting from wrong, and the honors that are attached and associated with these two important qualities. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions, he says that كَانَ مَلِكٌ فِي مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلَكُمْ. In the time of Banu Israel, there used to be a king. This king was a tyrant. He used to command the people to worship him. And one of the greatest sins that this king was involved in was that of magic. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَكَانَ لَهُ سَاحِرٌ, that he had a personal magician. This magician used to do magic. The people used to see this, they used to be mesmerized, and they used to obviously start believing in the king. فَلَمَّا كَبِرَ, when this magician became old, the magician asked the king and told the king, قَالَ لَهُ السَّاحِرُ إِنِّي قَدْ كَبِرْتُ فَبَعَثْ إِلَيَّ غُلَامًا أُعَلِّمْهُ السِّحْرَ, that I became old now, why don't you send a youngster to me so that I may teach him this magic, so that he may serve you when I am gone from this world. So the king acceded to his request. So this youngster was now appointed that every day you must come to this magician and learn your magic. So the youngster would walk, but on the way to the magician, there used to be a rahib, a monk, who was stationed somewhere along the road. And the boy, once he stopped and he heard this monk's talks, and he heard his advisors, and this monk calling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this boy became very touched and influenced by this monk. So he used to end up late by the magician, and the magician used to give him hiding. When the youngsters come late to madrasa, then we give them hiding. So the magician, the youngster used to come late to him, used to get hiding. So he went to this monk and he told him that, I'm getting hiding, what must I do? So he says, the monk says that if you are late by the magician, then tell him that you were delayed at home. And when you are late at home, then tell them that the magician is delaying you. So in this way, the boy used to come and learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time. Now, as we go along, and every single one of us in our lives, sometimes we want to have that itmi'nanul qalb, that satisfaction in the heart. It's not that we just believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but sometimes you want to know some of the secrets and some of the wisdoms of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this will obviously increase your iman. In fact, this concept is taught to us by the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ أَرِنِي كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Ibrahim alayhi salam said that, Oh Allah, show me how you give life to the dead. So Allah asked him, قَالَ أَوَلَمْ تُؤْمِنْ, don't you believe? قَالَ بَلَى, he says, yes Allah, I believe. وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي, I want to know more. Show me some more details. Then Allah Ta'ala tells him, take 4 birds, domesticate them, then munch them up, put them in different parts of the mountain and call them. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala made it such that all the birds came back to him. So this youngster, after he learned from the monk, one day there was a huge beast that were blocking the people from passing on a road. So he picked up a stone and he said that, Oh Allah, if this deen of yours is true, then I'm going to throw this beast and let this stone of mine kill this beast. And when he threw the stone, the beast died. So he knew that this is the deen of Allah and this is the truth. This is the truth. So he went to the monk and he told him that this is what happened. The monk said that you have reached such a level of iman now that even I am not on your level. So this boy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had gifted him many gifts. He could cure the leper, he could cure the blind person, and different types of ailments with the permission and will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, one of the king's men, a close minister of the king, he was blind. So he heard that there's a youngster that can cure the blind. So he comes to this youngster with a lot of gifts. فَأَتَاهُ بِهَدَايَا كَثِيرَةٍ. And he tells him, هَا هُنَا لَكَ أَجْمَعُ. All of this will be for you if you cure me from my blindness. So the young boy tells him, he says that I am not the one that can cure. Allah is the one that can cure. If you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cure you. So the minister believes, and subhanallah, he can see. So when he goes back to the king is saying, very strange, weren't you blind yesterday, today you can see? So he says, yes, shafani Allahu ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had granted me cure. So the king asked him, وَلَكَ رَبٌّ غَيْرِي. Do you have a deity besides me? So he says, yes, Rabbi wa Rabbuka Allah. My deity and your deity is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a tyrant king does what he does best, and that is tyranny. If someone goes against his command, goes against his will, the only way and only solution they have is that of torture. And they want to try and cut that chain and try and cut that means off so that people cannot now start realizing that there is an Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he begins to torture this minister of his and says that, who taught you about this and who told you about Allah? So he says there was this young boy. The young boy came. He says, boy, where did you learn this from? He tortured the boy. The boy said, I learned it from the monk. So the monk came. So it's the 3 of them that have iman now in this community. So the king tells the monk that renounce your deen and believe in me. And he tells the minister, renounce your deen and believe in me. So they say no. And that is Iman. وَكَذَلِكَ الْإِيمَانِ إِذَا خَالَطَتْهُ بَشَاشَةُ الْقُلُوبِ Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Once this heart tests and tastes Iman, this heart will never leave Iman. That's how strong Iman is. If a person leaves Iman, then a person does not have the sweetness of Iman in his heart. So they said, we won't leave Iman. So the king says and commands that they must be sliced in half. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَوُضِعَ بِمِنْشَارِ فِي مَفْرِقِ رَأْسِهِ, that the saw from the middle or the hairline on their heads was, the saw was placed there and they were cut in half. And this is Iman. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do people think that we just say we believe in Allah and they won't be tested? There will always be a challenge on your Iman. And this is the point, we need to have istiqamah, we need to be steadfast on the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, Allah ta'ala will not test us in that way, but there will always be these tests of Iman. See, today we have these ideological tests and this atheism and LGBTQ and all of these tests that are coming to our youngsters and us ourselves. We need to be firm in our Iman. So they were firm in our Iman. Now look at this. When you have istiqamah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a way out for you, even when logically it doesn't make sense. So with regards to this youngster, the king says that he's a young boy. We can just threaten him a little bit and he will believe. And he will believe in me. So he commands his men, take him to the top of the mountain and threaten him that you're going to throw him off. And when he believes in me, then you bring him back. So when he goes to them, when they take him to the mountain, the boy makes a dua, Allahumma kfinihim bima shi'ta. Oh Allah, you suffice me against them. Allah Ta'ala made it such that the mountain shakes, all the men, the king's men, they all fall down and pass away and this boy is alive. So he comes walking to the king is, wow, you went with mighty men, a young boy, you're coming back to me. So the king says, no, we'll go for him again. Now he tells his men, take him into the middle of the ocean. وَتَوَسَّطُوا بِهِ الْبَحْرَ. Take him into the middle of the ocean. Threaten him that you're going to drown him. When he renounces his deen, then you bring him back. He makes this dua, Allahumma kfinihim bima shi'ta. Oh Allah, you suffice me against them. Allah Ta'ala made it such that the boat began to wobble. All the king's men fell out and drowned and this boy was safe. And he comes back to the king. When you are firm on the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will make a way out for you. No matter the situation. Even if logically it doesn't make sense. Logically, the youngster is weak. Logically, he can fall off a mountain and die. But Allah Ta'ala can turn the tables. And Allah will grant you such honor that you can never imagine. This young boy tells a tyrant king on his face, he says, you will never be able to kill me until I tell you how to kill me. This is the honor that Allah Ta'ala grants. Nevertheless, the king says, how must I kill you? The boy says, gather all the people. Put them on one plain. Let them witness this event. Tie me to a date palm tree. Take an arrow. And before you shoot me, you must say Bismillah in the name of Allah and let the people witness this. So the king does this. He gathers all the people and he shoots. But first now he's trying to shoot, but the arrow is not going because he's not saying Bismillah. When he says Bismillah, the arrow comes and it hits the boy on his temple and the boy passes away. And all the people that were present, they all said, Amanna billah, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah ta'ala can do. This is istiqamah. This is the value of being steadfast. So now the king, the ministers tell him, Wallahi qad nazala bika hadaruk. What you feared the most had happened. All the people now believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they don't believe in you anymore. So a tyrant is a tyrant. So he says that dig trenches, and this is what is mentioned in the Quran. قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ. the people of the trenches were killed. He says, put oil into the trenches and ignite a fire therein. And anyone that believes in Allah, throw them into the trench. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made those trenches Jannat for the people. Allah ta'ala, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says there was one mother with her child. Comes in hadith. And the mother was reluctant to go in. How do you go into this fire with your child? So the child spoke. And the child said that, oh my mother, Allah Ta'ala, something to this effect, Allah Ta'ala is going to make this fire a coolness for us. So go into the fire. So this is it, my dear respected elders and brothers. When we are firm on the deen of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will make a way out for us. Allah will grant us honor. And Allah will give hidayat. Allah will grant guidance to people even after we die. When this boy passed away, everyone accepted Islam. Sometimes we don't see the fruits of our actions in this world or in the same place and locality that we are in. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spread His guidance and His wisdom through the rest of the world. If we are steadfast in the deen of Allah, if we call towards good and we prohibit from evil, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.